it's Doris with Aldi Books, and I need to finish the Tower of Doom trials. It's been a week or so. I went on hiatus to do some daily vlogging for the ridiculous book outlet unboxing challenge readathon thing, but I'm done with that. I'm done with school and I'm back. So what we're doing here is I've got my Tower of Doom. I don't know if you guys, if you're familiar, but anyway, it's a thing I've been doing all year. So, and I have 3, 6, 9. I had 9. I have read one already, The Enchanted, and I absolutely loved it. Oh my goodness, it was so good. So right now I have 3 books that are doomed. They are going to be unhauled. I have 2 left in the keeper stack that I've read the one. So 2 still in the keeper stack. And then these 3 in the middle are the ones that are yet to stand trial. So we're going to dive right into that right now. I am reading page 112 of each book and analyzing the situation on Goodreads. And then Sean has read page 112 blind. And then I make my decision about keeping it or unhauling it. And someone asked me what I do with the books that I do not keep. And I sell them to the used bookstore. We have a great used bookstore here in Nashville called McKay's. And I also have a local state park. It's like 12 minutes from me. Aren't I lucky? That has a little free library now. They just put it up this summer. So some of them I donate there as well. So the books don't go unloved. I just, can't read them all and don't necessarily want to. But anyway, let me just shut up rambling and read page 112. Get with Sean. I think I'm going to hold off on the post-it note for a minute and read first, and then I'll check in with you and let you know other things I've found out about this book. I remembered we were supposed to be reading it together, so here goes. I won't, but you don't love me. I looked at him. For one instant, I felt sober. I don't know. I might. I will. Anyway, I promise. I am so confused right now. Ah, that doesn't sound so hot to me. He got up and walked around the room, running his fingers nervously along surfaces. He might have been checking my housekeeping abilities. Oh, he would be so disappointed here. Why should I... That way... What? Oh my goodness. I could get over you. I just haven't tried. Well, there you go. Oh, Christ, Victor, you pestered me all this time. Didn't you think I was paying attention? So, okay, but first go ahead and, what did you call it? Take advantage of me? I mean, we ought to see if it works, shouldn't we? If it works, oh, you're too much. Ought to? All of a sudden I ought to? You wanted to a minute ago. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, baby. Oh, my word. But the way you say it makes me nervous. Well, that's 2 of us then. Well, go ahead and drag me to the bedroom by my hair. Lord. But you have no hair left. I touched my bare neck. I forgot. By an arm, then. What about Gabrielle? Is she going to walk in, or is she out somewhere with the bone person? Oh, my goodness. Oh, Gabrielle, I pulled him by the hand towards my room. You are nervous, aren't you? No, she won't walk in. Anyhow, I'll close my door. Victor looked around the bedroom. I'm getting nervous about this myself. He had been over before, but never in my room. I knew how he liked to examine places at length. My room was brightly disorderly, a graduate student sort of room, with Madras curtains, a Cezanne landscape, a piano, all my college books still alive with the aura of having been recently read. Victor, you can study the place later. You are in a hurry. He put his arms around me. Every gesture he made was slow and attentive. His touch was less ardent than curious. It was wonderful, far better than I had allowed myself to imagine. But another feeling was even more powerful. He kissed me. I've never seen you in this sort of hurry before. Because I'm going to pass out very soon. Lie down then. What a seductress you turned out to be. He lay down next to me. Oh my goodness. I think we all know where this is going, and I mean that on many levels. So. Oh my goodness. Let's see what Sean has to say.
This is the one about the fornicating the young people. I won't, but you don't love me. I looked at him. I'm intrigued by this, but I don't exactly know why. I can't wait to hear you describe it and find out more about the book. I like the repartee and the dynamic between the I assume they're young people, young man and young woman, Victor and, do we find out her name? No, it's the first person narrator. And they're going to have sex. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. I liked that. And the unexpected affection that it seemed like the female narrator wanted to wham bam, thank you ma'am, get it over with, but he was much more affectionate. I was intrigued by that. But only to a certain extent. If I had to grade this on a star rating, I would give this 3.5 stars.
Okay, so 3.5 stars from Sean. So that's a maybe, is what I hear him saying. He wants to know more. So I'll give you more. I'll give you more. This was first published in 1983. It's a reissue. It has a 4.05 rating out of only 505 reviews. So this is blurbed as a harmonious life, an artist's husband. She is a pianist and mother. Policemen arrive at her door. It's set in the 1950s and the 1980s, which would have been contemporary to the time it was published initially. Here, this is the kiss of death right here. This is billed as cerebral chicklet. That's okay. That's okay. Cerebral chicklet filled with pedantic philosophy. That's not what it's billed as. That's what a reviewer said about it. So yeah. Friends meet in the dorm talking about their philosophy courses. No, absolutely not. I don't think so. Not here for that. Philosophy is one of my, to coin a phrase from, well, to use a phrase that I can't even talk. What am I saying? This book got me flustered, people. To use a phrase coined by a friend of Cousins from Always Doing, this book is buzzkill for me. And ironically, we just read page 112 when, where they were preparing to, do it, so to speak. And I was feeling bad leaving you guys hanging, and Sean too. But yeah, she decided to take a nap, and he wasn't too disturbed. He went to check out her bookshelf, so there you go. This is another one for the discard pile. Can you see it? Oh, I'm like you can see it. My there. See? There you go. Okay, on to the next one. The Big Green Tent by Ludmila Ulitskaya. So I have to tell you, Sean has helped me all he can. These last two books, this one and the Knicks, Sean DNF'd. So I found that out on Goodreads, luckily, before I made him read page 112 blindly, because that would have been funny. I should have done it anyway, but yeah. So I am going to read page 112 of this with you, and then well, let's just go ahead and look at the back real quick here. So this one was published in 2010. It's got a 3.99 out of 2,370 reviews. It's during the Cold War, the Soviet Union, 1950s, KGB. It's translated, so that makes me want to give it more of a chance because it's translated. Sean said it was dull. And it does have 573 pages, so it needs to not be dull for me to read all of that. So it's kind of like, it's translated, so I want to, but it's a little bit bigger than average, so it needs to step it up a notch, in my opinion. So let's just check out page 112 and talk about it. As he had hoped, but to the less prestigious pedagogical institute, where, as the story went, there were 8 females for every 2 males, one of them lame, another one cross-eyed. Self-respecting young men without such shortcomings were not eager to enroll there. Micah had had no trouble getting in. His gender and his thorough academic training outweighed his unfortunate ethnicity. But his triumph was made bitter by loss. On the day he found his name on the list of successful candidates for admission, poor Minna died of pneumonia. He had never even visited her in the hospital. She suffered from pneumonia at least 3 times a year, and he couldn't have imagined that this bout of illness would be her last. Now he was left alone with a dreadful secret, and with the sinking feeling that this burden of guilt would stay with him until the end of his days. Slow-witted Minna was in love with him, and he had somehow been entangled in a strange sexual relationship with her. There was no other name for it. Although sex in the absolute sense of the term was not what went on between them, Minna would lie in wait for him at the secluded end of the corridor next to the WC, lure him into the corner, and press herself against him with all the warm and soft parts of her body until he slipped away flushed, shaking, and quite satisfied. Oh my word. He wanted to kill himself after every episode of fondling and swore that next time he would push her away and flee. But, where was I? Lord, I got lost during the sex scene. But he could never bring himself to refuse her. She was affectionate, soft, thrillingly hairy in places. Why am I reading this out loud? And had a strong speech defect, a quality that protected their anonymity and guaranteed they wouldn't be found out. He was being slowly strangled with a sense of guilt and disgust, and the thought of suicide always hovered in the back of his mind. No one dared mention the unconscious in those days. This was a state Ilya found him in. Ilya decided not to pry, but dragged him outside to get him to relax. Moscow was uncharacteristically clean and fairly empty. The festival was opening the next day. Through the deserted city streets in various directions passed motorcades of passenger automobiles, pickup trucks, some with their sides lowered, some with their sides up, old-fashioned buses, even Hungarian-made Icarus buses. Well, friends, that was an unfortunate choice of pages, or fortuitous. Yeah, not so much. Let me go to Goodreads and read a few reviews. This is when I read reviews, when I want to confirm my need to DNF a book. I check Goodreads. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I didn't find much. I saw that Olive said that she was glad she'd read it, but also glad that she was finished. So there's that. So yeah, I really want to give this one a little bit of a try because it's translated, and also the theme and setting I think is good for me. So, you know, maybe it would work. I did read the prologue and the first page, and those were much less awkward than what I just read out loud. So yeah, I think this one may work, may not, but it deserves a little bit more of a chance. So that is a keeper for now. And then we have The Knicks by Nathan Hill. Um, So, Sean also DNF'd this. Let me see my notes here and see if I wrote down why. But this was published in 2016. It's got a 4.09 on Goodreads out of 53,206. So it's a lot. It's set in 2011. A college professor, missing mom, radical hippie. Oh, he's missing his mother. His mother is missing. That's what I mean to say. My notes are fairly cryptic. Ordinary Girl, Norway, 1960s, Chicago, New York City. 620 pages, so another hefty one. Forced to mockingly laugh at characters. Sean, Brown Girl reading. I don't think either of them liked this, or they were a little bit, I don't know, guys. My notes are cryptic. However, Geraldine Reads, who is a new channel that I have just recently subscribed to and I'm really enjoying. I will link her below. She left the best comment ever. This is like perfect information. She told me that she liked it. It was a 4-star for her, but she didn't send me on a guilt trip about it. She simply said she liked it, and she said that it reminded her of the Goldfinch, and that if I liked the Goldfinch, I would probably like this, and if I didn't like the Goldfinch, I probably wouldn't. And I DNF'd the Goldfinch in Vegas. So, yeah, feeling pretty good about where this one's gonna go. Let's read page 112 and then talk about it briefly. Oh, friends, I just can't read another naughty page out loud. This one even has the F-bomb down there, and I just can't. Like, anatomy unverifiable but also unchallenged. Nobody in the locker room within earshot of the Bergs boasting was willing to risk personal injury by stating the obvious. There was no way a high school girl would be interested in a 6th grader unless she was mentally disturbed, wicked ugly, or emotionally broken. Or all 3 of these things. There was just no way. And yet, there was something in the way that Berg spoke about sex that made the boys wonder. Yeah, not again. What in the world with this video? So, friends, I'm going to get good credit at the used bookstore for this one. This is a good looking book right here. Nice and hefty and current and popular. So, yeah. I did it. Stay tuned for episode 5, the final episode of the Tower of Doom trials, in which I discuss how this year went and what my plans are for next year. Stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye.